Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 17th Public Works Session of the Board of Education. Our apologies for running late this evening. Please join us and pledge us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry. Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We're in the high school auditorium this evening. There's emergency exits around the room, and we are on YouTube and on the school channel. Welcome. So tonight is our last meeting of the school year. This is a public work session. There will be no opportunity for visitors this evening, but we do have some special things on the agenda, so we are going to get right to it. Again, apologies for running late. I'm going to pass it over to Superintendent Chang for his report.
Thank you, Madam President. My report is not going to be as lengthy as it usually is, but we did get a bit of good news from the state as well as the Department of Health with regards to graduation. We are no longer requiring tests or proof of vaccination, as those restrictions have been lifted. You have, if not already, received the communication from John. It is on its way, so that everyone has that on record. The other thing is tomorrow, again, is the middle school moving up ceremony, which we're all looking forward to. Then we have prom that's coming up the week after, and then we go right into high school graduation at Hofstra on the 25th. So we're all excited and ready to celebrate our students for the amazing year that they've had, going through as much adversity as they did. Quick to note, I'm getting more and more confident that as the new year starts to come and we start to plan, as I said, I think we are in that tunnel way where we're about to come out and looking at September potentially being back with as much normalcy as possible as more of the restrictions start to lift. I'm hopeful that we'll get some more information from the state, and the start of next school year would look very much similar to what it was prior to this year. A couple of things that we're waiting on are, that we're particularly waiting on, is the distancing measures that they would put in place, if they would have any masks, if they would have any in terms of how we report, how we don't report. Those are the things that we're waiting on, and the closer we get towards the later part of the summer, I'm hoping that before then we'll get some more information to be able to have that. And additionally, in terms of whether or not we'd be required to offer remote services or not. And it looks like we are going to move and tilt towards, if the trend is trending from other states and other places, that it seems like we would end up back in as much of a normal setting as it would be as a normal school day with kids in, going through their regular schedules with full activities ready to go. We're fully prepared to do that unless told otherwise. So we look forward to, as we end this chapter, we are also planning and looking forward to the following school year. With that ends my report, Madam President.
Thank you. Any questions from board members?
With the new guidance that we just got on June 7th from the state, Governor Cuomo mentions that the CDC recommendations for the barriers, that they're no longer recommending barriers. So can we take the barriers down, since the governor is now saying it as well as the CDC? It's in his most updated guidelines that the barriers are not a mitigating factor for physical distancing, and the new distancing is now 3 feet with the different layers of infection that we have, and we're at a low rate.
Yeah, so I talked about that at the last meeting as well. In our classrooms, because of the distancing being an issue, and because when we did our reopening to bring everybody back, we needed to have two things in place. A lot of the schools that have, again, done away with the barriers, and not everyone's done away with the barriers, is that they have the 3 feet of distance to be able to keep students apart at 3 feet, as well as incorporate masks. In a lot of our classrooms, that becomes very difficult for us to do. So that becomes the issue. But I would love to take down the barriers, and we could certainly, look forward to next year not having them. But because we need to have those two factors in place, they stay till the end of the year.
One of the things I understood for the elementary was that without them, we wouldn't be able to have our children be eating without their masks on so close together. Isn't that correct? So if we took them down now with only a few days left, we would be kind of unearthing our eating schedules on the elementary side for snack and lunch.
It does throw our schedules off in that, because the requirement's still within, I know what the governor said, but in terms of what the school guidelines, which he said himself that still stay in place, is that 6 feet and distancing is important, particularly in places where they eat. So because of that, again, we were told in the beginning that those barriers constitute physical distancing. Therefore, they're in place. If not, we don't have the space requirements necessary.
But the barriers no longer constitute physical distancing. The new guidelines from June 7th say 3 feet apart, and when eating, 6 feet apart, or outdoors where possible. So the barriers are not a mitigating factor for eating or distancing.
They're not, and again, this goes back to the conversation we had when we had the reopening forum. The barriers, it's just a requirement in terms of making sure that we substitute for that physical distancing. Now, the CDC said it does not recommend. However, in terms of our plan to bring everybody back, and I'm not talking about anybody else's because I believe they're at 3 feet, it makes it very difficult for us to have students in the classrooms and not be clear with the guide, not be in conjunction with the guidelines that have been put out with the 3 feet of distance. So the 3 feet of distance is something that we're lacking. Therefore, the barriers constitute a substitution for that.
Even though the new guidance says they don't matter, you're saying that they do matter because we don't have 3 feet.
Because our premise was when we brought people back, now that guidance came out a month after we brought students back about the barriers, but the CDC not recommending them. What it does is it puts us in a situation where our plan, because again, we're space poor in this district with the sizes of the classrooms that we have, and if you go into any of the elementary schools, we don't have 3 feet in between these kids. And those same guidelines that have been given to us by the state from the health department says that we need to have 6 feet when kids are eating. Our kids are eating in the classroom. Right? So how do we mitigate for that? We mitigate for it by the fact that we have those barriers into place as substitute for physical distancing.
So they're here to stay for at least till the end of the year.
Well,
Yep.
with such a short amount of time left, I think we can all agree we're right there at the finish line. Let's finish this year. I would say let's finish it.
Yep.
We need to be done. Okay, I'm going to pass it back over to Mr. Chang, and we're going to recognize some special people that we have retiring from our central office. So, Mr. Chang.
I'd like to recognize 3 people from our central office that will be retiring. So I will go up to the podium like I did last time. And Janine, will you join me? Okay. Today we have people from central office that are retiring, and the first person I'd like to call up and recognize is someone who has served not only our schools but also our country. She has been a guidance counselor, a tenured guidance counselor at our school district, as well as an assistant principal and an administrator for pupil services and special education before becoming assistant superintendent of pupil services and special education. She's been with the district for 19 years, and we thank her for her service and everything that she's done for the well-being of our students. Dr. Noreen Leahy, congratulations on your retirement. Next, we have Veronica Lalo. If you could come up. Veronica Lalo. I'm sorry, I'm a little disjointed with the. Veronica Lalo has been with the district for 14 years. She is the assistant to the assistant superintendent of business administration, as well as the school treasurer. And she has put in a lot of service. I know she's worked directly with me in terms of my onboarding and some of the paperwork and things that go into all the work with the budgeting and working clearly well with Robert Bartels and his office. So congratulations on your year served, and thank you for all that you've done for our district. And next, we have our district clerk, Jackie Wong. I've known Jackie Long for about a year now, as well as I've known everybody else for about a year now that I recall. And she has been very vital in terms of moving all the things along with not only just the board, but with everything that's administrative within the superintendent's office. She has worked in many positions, started out as an aide at Southside High School, as an attendance secretary at Southside High School, the assistant principal secretary at Southside High School, and then eventually went to principal secretary at Hewitt, and then was the interim secretary of the Board of Education and staff assistant to the superintendent. And she retires after 20 years after finally being the district clerk and the secretary to the Board of Education and the superintendent's office. Thank you for everything that you've done. We will miss you as well as the other retirees, and congratulations to you all on your retirement.
On behalf of the board, I'd like to congratulate and thank these amazing women. Dr. Leahy, you've spent many hours with the board, both in executive and public session, where you've been our liaison for so many topics. We often wondered how you did it all, but you did, and you did so with passion, creativity, and heart. We thank you for your many roles and contributions that you've made to the district, as well as to the many lives of Rockville Center students that you've touched over the years. Thank you so much for everything you've done, and thank you for the service to the country as well.
Thank you, Tara, very much.
Ronnie, the members of our public may not know you as well as we do, but we want them to know that this district is in debt to you for many years of hard work in the business office. You've always been a loyal and trusted employee, and one that we've always been able to count on. As always affirmed by our auditors, we've always been told, Ronnie's got it, and you always have, and we've been impressed with you. Thank you so much, and we wish you the best in your retirement. And Jackie, you are the unsung hero of the Rockville Center School District. Anyone who has had the pleasure of working with you knows your value to each of us. You've been our advisor, our confidant, our support system, and our friend. We will miss you so very much. You have taught us many lessons about ourselves, about each other, our district, and our work. Thank you will never be enough for all you've done for us, but it's a start. We wish you a long, happy, and healthy retirement, and we'll keep you with us every step of the way. Thank you so much. I'm just going to open the mic. Anybody would like to add anything to these amazing people?
Dr. Leahy, congratulations on your retirement. Thank you for your steadfast dedication and commitment, your years of service to our children and the staff of Rockville Center and our entire community. I wish you the best as you move on. Thank you so much. Ronnie, you're one of the first people I met when I came on the board 3 years ago, and you are absolutely such a pleasure to work with. You're always smile and there to support us, and thank you so much for everything, and I wish you the best. Congratulations. Jackie, you are absolutely one of the best people I've ever met in my life. You bring such attention to detail, work ethic to everything you do. You're so supportive to me personally and to us as a board, as a group. Thank you so much for everything, and I wish you the best as you move on to your next chapter as well. Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Am I on now?
Yes.
I'm on, yay. So the three people we honor tonight, as well as some of who we honored at our last meeting, really are the core workings of our district. And for those of us who have worked with Ronnie, Jackie, and Noreen, we know the incredible extent that each of them care about doing their jobs and about the students of the district. Noreen, you're known throughout the district and all of Long Island as an incredible advocate for education for all students. The first time I met you was at our interview. We had postponed the interview because your passport was stolen while you were in Italy. And I showed up to our meeting and you were there. And I was very confused because my understanding was that you were stuck in Italy because someone stole your bag, and you told us that somebody grabbed the bag and you ran through the streets of Rome to chase them. And then when you didn't get them, you went to the consulate and argued with them that you needed to get home on your original flight. I was so impressed. I thought that if you could do that, just imagine what you would do for our students. You are thoughtful and innovative, and you never stop advocating for equity for all of our students, and I thank you. Ronnie, you are, as Tara said, the least known of all the three of us up here to the general public, but you have helped us in ways most people have no idea about. You've reshaped the business department and been Robert's right hand for years, and I truly don't know what they'll do without you, and I thank you for the years of dedication. And Jackie, you have been my right hand for years. You literally finish my sentences. I couldn't and I wouldn't have stayed as long as I did without your constant friendship and help. There aren't enough words to thank you. You have kept the trains on schedule for years. I interviewed you for this position. I didn't really know who you were. You were Justin's mom. And then I heard you were Jennifer's mom. And then I heard you were Mrs. Palace of Wong. And now you're just my friend. And as you said at the last meeting, I'm not saying goodbye because we have lots of lunch dates to make and dogs to walk. But thank you.
Thank you all three for your years of service and dedication to the district. Without each and every one of you, the district would be different. It would look different. It would act different. You have made so many contributions. You have changed the course of the district, changed the course of the direction of how we move things and work things, and you've all played such a big role in that. Jackie, especially, she's the go-to person for the Board of Education. If any of us have a question or a concern, we call Jackie, and she usually guides us in the right direction. So we have all functioned for so many years. Jackie's been here almost as long as I have, and it has just been such a great pleasure to call the district and have you answer the phone and know that if you don't have the answer, you're going to find it for us and help us move along and help do everything we need to do to keep the district rolling along. So to the three of you, I wish you all the happiness in the world as you move on to different adventures, and you know, we are grateful for your service and what you've done, and we're grateful for your friendship over the years. Thank you.
Any administrators, if you'd like to say anything?
Yeah, I just want to say, I'd be short, but I think all three ladies have been absolutely outstanding in their individual positions in helping the district, and I've been very proud to work alongside each one of them.
I just wanted to say, Ronnie, thank you for always answering my questions. You know I have a lot of them, and I hope you get to visit many stadiums in the future. Noreen, I have loved collaborating with you. I loved our conversations about students and instruction. I will miss our conversations about reading.
Me too.
So you will be missed. And Jackie, thank you for always being honest, even when I didn't want to hear it. And truly your support has been outstanding, so thank you. You will all be missed, and I really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you again. Congratulations. These are three phenomenal women we are going to miss, so give them another round of applause. Okay, next on our agenda, we have our 2021-2022 Board of Education meeting schedule, the last one that Mrs. Wong has to prepare for us. Be a good opportunity for us to introduce Mrs. Celebrity, who is coming to join us in Jackie's position. Give her a round of applause, too. Many of us have had the pleasure of working with Mary Lou in various capacities. Most recently, she was our registrar and then went over to work in the Curriculum and Instruction Office, and Janine is going to forgive us someday. But Janine has a lovely, lovely woman coming to work in her department as well, Mrs. Lauren Billig from our central administration. So we do have some shifting happening, but all amazing women, and we're really looking forward to working with Mary Lou as well. So thank you for everything you've done so far. So we are putting out our Board of Ed meeting schedule, which will start with our July 1st meeting, which is our reorganization meeting that happens every year. We are going to resume our building tours as part of our meeting schedule this year in person as a full group in August, you'll notice on the schedule. And though sometimes we do have to tweak the schedule as we go along, we're pretty set on these dates as of right now. So anything else I need to add, Mrs. Wong? Okay, that will be up for approval later in the agenda. So I'm just mentioning that we had set that for next year. Finally, we have our policies and superintendent regulations. We had been working on our memorial policy, which is now in stage 3. It has gone through all the proper channels in terms of having been put out to public at least twice at regular meetings, so we are able to move it forward if we so choose. So I'll just open up to any questions from the board. On the memorials policy, it's 3170. Did we actually get it, guys? The whole year we worked on this policy. So it sounds like there's no objection then to moving it forward? No objection?
No.
Okay, great.
Could it even be in a place where we approve it?
It would be approved at the next meeting, technically. That's the way we kind of...
Could we approve it at this meeting? Is it a possibility?
I don't think, because we didn't add it to the agenda, right, Jackie? We'll approve it next time?
Right, you should, so you could approve it at your, during reorg, there'll
Right.
also be a public work session.
Right.
So you could approve it at that.
Right, so it'll be in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. And I really would like to just say thank you again to Dr. Leahy for all of her hard work on this policy, Mr. John Murphy for all of his hard work, and his PPS staff as well. Again, like I mentioned, this is a whole year. Ms. Deb Caputo for coming and speaking to us as well as an expert in the field. And to the board members and administrators, thank you very much. This was a labor of love, and I'm happy to see it move forward. So thank you all. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from our special meeting May 31st and regular meeting June 2nd?
So moved.
A second? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the financial reports as listed?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Can I have a motion to accept the receipts of the financial reports as listed?
So moved.
A second? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. And finally, can I have a motion to accept board actions A through G plus the PAR addendum?
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and finally, can I have a final motion to adjourn our meeting, last meeting of the year?
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Congratulations, our class of 2021. We look forward to seeing you again on July 1st, but wish you all the best. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you.